Golf has always been full of legendary rivalries, but only a few have truly blown us away. Back in the day, everyone was talking about the intense rivalry between Tiger Woods and John Daly. Those were some memorable moments, but let's face it, that era is gradually becoming a part of history as we move on to a new generation of talent, with those same renowned last names emerging on the horizon. The sons of two of the greatest and most iconic golfers of the last decades were born for this sport. But are they also built to win? Well, let's get into the clash of the young titans, Charlie Woods versus John Daly Jr., who will claim the legacy. Despite his tender age of 15, Charlie Woods is already showing he's got what it takes to be a future champ. Since he practically started walking, Tiger Woods' youngest son has been wowing crowds with a smooth swing and skills that mirror his dad's, if not better. In 2023, Charlie did something even Tiger couldn't. He won a high school state championship. Playing for the Benjamin School in Palm Beach, Florida, the freshman shot rounds of 78 and 76, landing him tied for 26th individually. But his score also helped his team clinch the Class A state title, a feat his dad didn't manage in his own junior days. Though he's still new to big junior events, Charlie's already turning heads with some standout performances. He even took part in his first PGA Tour pre-qualifier. Despite a rough 12-over par round with a bunch of double bogeys, Charlie handled the pressure and crowds like a pro, way beyond his years. Right now, he's ranked 1,301 on the junior golf scoreboard, and he's a regular on the South Florida Junior Tour. Besides playing on his own, Charlie teamed up with his dad for the PNC Championship. Charlie and Tiger Woods went head-to-head against other pairs like Team Daly, Nelly Korda and her dad, Justin Thomas with his dad Mike, and the 2023 winners Bernhard Langer and his son Jason. Unfortunately, Team Woods has never won in their 4 appearances in this competition, but with its still young age, it might make sense. Their best result came in 2021, finishing second with a score of 20 under par, just 3 strokes behind their rivals, John Daly and his son, John Daly Jr. This was the exact moment when the rivalry once began. Charlie and Daly Jr., both sons of the greatest pro golfers in the sport, fighting for the #1 spot. Well, despite the age difference, the comparison in the golfing world was quickly made. Who is the better golfer, Charlie or Daly Jr.? While Charlie Woods still has a lot of ground to cover, his early successes prove he's definitely got some of his famous dad's exceptional talent. However, whether he can match or even top Tiger's golf legacy, well, only time will tell. On the other hand, 20-year-old John Daly Jr. benefited from an early introduction to golf by his father and a flexible homeschooling schedule, enabling him to compete in tournaments from the age of 13. As the tall, powerful son of 2-time major champion John Daly, John Jr. inherited his dad's impressive driving skills. Following in his father's footsteps, Daly Jr., nicknamed Little John, though we might have to drop the little once he turns pro, is now studying at the University of Arkansas, the very place where his dad became a rising star in golf. Little John is working on a sports management degree and making a name for himself in golf. While he had a bit of a rough start in college with an opening round of 83, 11 over par in his first tournament, he quickly showed his talent with a solid 68, 4 under par round the next day. It's no surprise that Little John excels at driving off the tee. It's one of his biggest strengths. He employs the same bombing technique that made his dad famous, consistently hitting impressive distances. But it's not just about power. Daly Jr. has also developed a finesse with short distances, making him a versatile threat. His father told the Bleacher Report, "He really does have a passion for the short game. He loves to putt and chip." In the same article, golf coach Nicky Duffy, who worked with Daly Jr., added, "I mean, he's so freaking talented, it's stupid." Well, it looks like Little John is a jack of all trades with a promising future ahead of him. Before college, John Daly Jr. had already notched up several notable achievements in junior golf, hinting at his potential. He clinched 18 wins in junior tournaments, including a dominant victory at last year's prestigious Junior Players Championship. Both seem to have the right perks. So, let's dive into the ultimate showdown. Who's got the edge? Woods or Daly? If the golf course were a chessboard, Charlie and Little John would be the queens, powerful, versatile, and stealing the spotlight. Odds makers currently favor Charlie, giving him 1,500 to 1 odds of clinching a major before age 22, but reports indicate he still has some homework to do. However, in a game like golf, where a single stroke can change your fortune, never say never. The rivalry came alive again at the PNC Championship in Florida, setting the stage for a wonderful showdown between John Daly Jr. and Charlie Woods. Both kids brought their A-game, but showed off their competitive edge in totally different ways. Daly Jr. was all about the game, not really bringing up Woods. He just focused on scoring big with his dad. And score they did, breaking the record with an astonishing 27 under par. This event highlighted how Daly Jr., unlike Woods, keeps his competitive spirit inward, avoiding comparisons, and just enjoying the game while aiming for victory. Beyond their head-to-head matchups, the individual stats of each player also stir things up a bit. At just 20, John Daly Jr. already has a string of solid performances to his name, like finishing second at the 2020 Daly Jr. Invitational and grabbing 3 titles on the junior circuit. His highest world amateur ranking was 621, and he currently sits at 1,476. Before we move on, let's see if there is any trash talk going on between the young golfers. You want to know what John Daly said about Charlie Woods? On the other side of the golf course, John Daly, known for being straightforward, got people talking when he compared his son to Charlie Woods on a podcast. He was on the Full Send podcast with the Nelk Boys, where, along with sharing stories from his successful career, the talk shifted towards how bright the future of golf looked with Charlie and Daly Jr. in it. When asked about Charlie's golf swing, Daly responded with a mix of humor and earnestness. "All I can tell you about is if Charlie can hit it as solid as my son in 6 years, then God bless him." The words blended challenge and blessing, like a torch of competition being passed down with a dash of goodwill. Even his son Little John admitted that Charlie Woods' swing is almost perfect for his age, and it is indeed commendable that he works hard in tough conditions and overcomes the not easy parts of the sport. So, who's really ahead in this race to become the next big golf star? It's tough to say. Little John might have the edge in raw power with his inherited bombastic style from Senior Daly, but Charlie brings the technique and tactical instincts worthy of Tiger that could end up being just as dominant. But wait a second, I think we've overlooked something even more crucial. No analysis of the upcoming rivalry between Charlie Woods and John Daly Jr. would be complete without considering the immense pressures and expectations surrounding them. As the sons of 2 of golf's biggest modern icons, both young men have carried the weight of enormous legacies, practically since they took their first swings. The media spotlight has relentlessly focused on their every move, dissecting and constantly comparing their performances against the historic achievements of Tiger Woods and John Daly. Every win or stumble is scrutinized to the last detail, searching for signs of which talent will ultimately prevail in this generational showdown. So actually, it doesn't really matter who's got the most talent, who can drive the farthest, or who has the slickest technique. The pressure these players face every time they hit the golf course must be intense. In my opinion, it's the pressure that's the real game changer, determining who among them can truly rise to the top. Where this rivalry will really heat up is when they both inevitably make the jump to the professional circuit in the next few years. If their current development and paths are anything to go by, we could be in for some epic head-to-head battles in future amateur and collegiate PGA Tour events, or maybe on the Live Tour. From that point on, everyone's going to expect one of them to totally outshine the other. Will the small but technically exquisite Charlie Woods eventually match or even surpass his father Tiger's status as one of the greatest and most iconic players the sport has ever seen? Or will the big and explosive John Daly Jr. use his extraordinary and prodigious talent to forge his own path, find his identity, and escape from the long shadow cast by his father's controversial but undeniably extraordinary legacy? Now, as per the records, it looks like John Daly Jr. might just have the edge of one-upping the legend's son. But there's a lot to consider here, like one of them still being an amateur, the age difference, and the fact that they haven't really gone head-to-head yet. At the end of the day, only time will tell who's reached the top and lived up to their dad's expectations. For now, we just have to sit back and see how it unfolds. So, whose team are you on? Team Woods royalty or Team Daly laid back?